Every single time you load a web page, there's a hidden auction happening right under your nose. It's this lightning-fast battle for your attention, and it's all over before the page even pops up on your screen. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on real-time bidding, the invisible engine that decides pretty much every ad you see online. Okay, let's get into it. Oh, you definitely know the feeling. You're talking about wanting new running shoes with a friend, and bam! Suddenly, every single website you go to is flooded with ads for sneakers. Is your phone listening? Is it some kind of digital magic? Well, the reality is actually way more interesting, and it all comes down to a process we're about to break down right now. So, how does this digital mind-reading trick actually work? Let's pop the hood on the system that seems to know exactly what you want, sometimes even before you've searched for it yourself. Yeah, the secret isn't sorcery, it's all about software. At the very heart of this is an automated, super high-speed auction where advertisers bid against each other for the chance to show an ad to you, specifically you. And this whole thing happens in, quite literally, the blink of an eye. Okay, before we get into all the nitty-gritty mechanics, we've got to get our terms straight. You've probably heard programmatic advertising and real-time bidding thrown around, but they're not exactly the same thing. And, understanding the difference is pretty key. So think of it like this. Programmatic advertising is the big picture, right? It's the entire universe of using software to automatically buy and sell ads. Real-time bidding, or RTB, is a very specific and super important process inside that universe. It's the live, in-the-moment auction part of the whole deal. So the main takeaway here is that RTB is a piece of the bigger programmatic puzzle, but it's an absolutely essential piece. It's the engine for a huge, huge portion of the automated ad market. That real-time part is what makes it so incredibly powerful. All right, now for the main event. How on earth does an auction for one little ad spot happen so fast that we don't even notice it? Let's walk through the play-by-play. First, can we just take a second to appreciate this number? The entire auction, from the starting bell to the final winner, takes less than 100 milliseconds. That is literally faster than you can blink. It's all happening in the background while the website you actually want to see is still loading. How wild is that? So to make this all happen, you've got two key players, or maybe it's better to say two key platforms. On one side, you have supply-side platforms, SSPs for short. They work for the publishers, the websites that have ad space to sell. On the other side, you've got demand-side platforms, or DSPs. They work for the advertisers who want to buy that space. Just think of them as these super fast, automated matchmakers. So here's how it all fits together, step by step. It all kicks off the second you click to visit a website. Instantly, that site's SSP puts the ad space up for auction. Then, the advertisers' DSPs see the opportunity and fire off their bids. The highest bidder wins, and boom, the winning ad is served up on your screen. And again, all of this happens before the page is even finished loading. It's just incredible. So why go through all this complicated, high-speed trouble? Well, it's because this system gives massive advantages to both the folks selling the ad space and the folks who are trying to buy it. The benefits here are really clear for everybody involved. For advertisers, it is all about laser-focused targeting and making sure they're not wasting money. For publishers, it opens them up to a gigantic pool of potential buyers. And for both sides, it provides really powerful data to track how everything is performing. Let's look at each side a little closer. For an advertiser, RTB is an absolute game changer. Instead of just buying a block of space on a website and just hoping the right people see it, they can bid specifically for your eyeballs based on data, like your demographics or maybe websites you've looked at recently. This just means way less wasted money and ads that are actually relevant to the person seeing them. And what about for the publishers? The websites, the blogs, the creators? Well, RTB creates this super competitive marketplace for every single ad spot they have. By having tons of advertisers bid in real time, they make sure they get the absolute highest price possible for their ad space, which in turn helps fund all the free content that we love to consume. Okay, so we've covered the how and the why, but let's bring this all back to our everyday lives online. Why should you actually care about this invisible auction that's happening all the time? Well, the bottom line is that this isn't some niche fringe technology. Real-time bidding is a fundamental building block of the modern internet. It's the economic engine that supports countless free websites, news outlets, you name it. So understanding RTB really means understanding how a massive part of the digital world actually pays its bills. This quote really boils it down to the core of the system's purpose. It's a symbiotic relationship, right? Advertisers get efficient, targeted reach, and publishers get the most money they can for their ad space. It's this win-win situation that powers so much of the web we use every day. So, we'll leave you with this final thought. Now that you've seen the machine behind that eerily perfect ad, the data, the platforms, the split-second auction, how does it change how you feel about it? It's a fascinating and incredibly powerful system, and you're right at the very center of it all.